Hi YouTube, my name's Drew and you're watching Drawing with Drew. Today we are going to be talking about the concept for your comic or graphic novel. About 8 years ago on my channel, I posted a video that is called Beginner's Guide How to Make a Comic Book, Easy Tutorial, UG and CreateSpace plus Self-Publishing. Now that video got about 150,000 views and it's my most popular video on the channel. And it is still relevant today. I actually follow the exact same steps to create my own books, and this is the one that I just recently created, my first trade paperback. But the only difference is it's not called CreateSpace anymore, it's just KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing through Amazon. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about the concepts or things to consider when you're making your own comic. Now I have one in mind, and believe it or not, I've chosen it primarily because I talked about it in this video 8 years ago. It is called The Adventures of Poop Dog. And I explained it in the video how, like, as a kid, I had a dog that was a little Boston Terrier, super cute little fat cuddly thing, but it would leave little packages around the house. So anyway, I'm gonna try to make this comic finally come to life. Let's talk about your comic. So the first thing I would recommend when you are thinking about a concept or an idea for your own comic is to choose something you're very familiar with, something that you really like, you have a passion for, because it's when you start out making your comic, you're gonna be really gung-ho about it and it's gonna seem great, but then, you know, like that the comic I just made, the graphic novel, which is technically 4 comics, it's 94 pages, that took me over a year and a half to make. So pick something that is familiar, that you like, that you know that you can sit down and work towards for a long, long time. Pick something familiar. The next thing I'm gonna say is about your setting for your comic. Pick something familiar for your setting. So pick an area in your house that you're gonna set it around, that you know well, that you can draw it from memory. I use my house quite a lot with my neighbors next door because I can visually see that and I can draw it out without having to go and look at a reference picture or anything. Like if you try to do like a city landscape, that's great if you want to challenge yourself and learn something new and do that. I'm not saying don't, but it might just take you a lot longer to kind of learn those things and kind of kill your flow. So for your setting, pick something that is also familiar. Now the next thing, the number 3 will be what type of comic are you going to create? How is it going to be laid out? So for me, for this one, for The Adventures of Poop Dog, I'm going to kind of use the old golden age comic style. During that period, most comics were comprised of like a number of shorter comics. It wasn't one storyline through the whole comic. Because if I can do, say, 2 or 3 pages each one and then end that comic and then do it, I think that I can usually I'll take breaks between. I won't, like, you know, I'll get to a stopping spot, I can relax, whatever, and then I don't feel the pressure and I can start the next one. So I'm gonna choose a golden age style, but I'm gonna use all the same character, like Poop Dog characters and everything else, but it'll just be smaller stories, kind of like Calvin and Hobbes. The next thing you want to think about is, are you going to be doing digital or traditional? This comic here, I did on my iPad. Everything was done on the iPad. Actually, you know, I did do my sketches, my pencils on paper, and then I took pictures and then I inked them in here. I've decided to do this next Poop Dog one. I think I'm going to do it traditionally, and that just means paper and brushes, like I talked about in my tools video, which means that everything's going to be done and then I'm going to scan it in and then I'm going to publish it that way. It won't look as polished, like you won't be able to get the bubbles to be like nice, super nice spheres, but I don't really care. I'm just gonna, like, this isn't gonna be a super professional, it's gonna be semi-professional hopefully, but I want it to be a human, I want it to have a human look. I don't want any AI stuff with it. I don't want anyone thinking, like, oh, this was created by AI. I want it to be like, oh yeah, this is a human made this. The average comic is 20 to 24 art pages in it. Keep that in mind, 20 to 24 art pages, a total of 32 pages with ads. That's for modern comics. Each page typically has 3 to 6 panels in your comic. You know, typically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or you could do, if it's a, you know, if you're doing an action shot, you might have 3 panels in it. If you're doing a kind of, if your page is going to have a lot of talking in it. You might have more if you want to have like a quick dialogue or an action sequence that's really like kind of compact. You can do more, but anyway, keep that in mind. I'm going to try to do it simple. This whole comic is going to be simple for me. Now we're going to talk about characters in the next video, designing your characters, but also start thinking about that now, because you're going to have the same character throughout the same, your main characters throughout the entire comic. And this, they got to all look the same, and you got to really work on that. That was one thing that I needed to work on in my other one. And the last thing I would say for, to keep in mind before you start your comic is the size, and same with my old 8-year-old video, the same sizes are available. I think for this comic, I'm gonna do the 6:9 ratio. You don't have access to every single comic size. Like there's actually, the normal comic size is not an option on Amazon. It doesn't really matter because they come in lots of different sizes from indie comics. So as long as it's close enough, consider those options when you're making your story. In my next video, we'll talk about the characters, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to plot out my characters for this comic. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit that subscribe button, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video.